lesson. Good time. So we're in open D. This song's actually in G. Like if you just switch to G and put your bass notes on the 5th string, it's going to be exactly the "Come On to My Kitchen" by Robert Johnson. But we're like, it's uncool to do it for you.
Just to let you know, I saw someone waiting with a guitar.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so like, there's our first riff. So, you know, the more time you can take, like getting both of your hands ready, the less time it's going to take. Since that's the part that actually takes wrestling yourself from the normal, that's why you're here today. It's counterintuitive because, you know, that split second is just going to start becoming more and more insignificant as long as you do it. But if you fight against it, it's just going to keep taking longer and longer to be like, I just hope I get that right this time. So, you know, just really pain in the ass, anyway, only gotta say that one time. And we're gonna finish as we go. So right now you're just going, you know, 10th fret, bang, bling, really just slide like you don't care if you're gonna overshoot, and I bet you next lesson you don't ever overshoot unless you intentionally do it to get a free lesson. I'm fucking around, obviously, man. So there you go, part 1. Really get good at that, you know, which you're gonna get to a point where you feel like you've got it. Do it 2 to 4 more times for it. Cool. So now our next riff starts with that same thing, and we get to our next little. So that's what we're zoomed in on right now, and that's us over here right hand wise going ring, put it back, and keep it back middle. No reason to have thought about this before. So that's you right now, and I'm playing it in rhythm because I already know the riff. You can literally just be like, however long it takes you to fit into doing it. So do that a whole bunch of times, and don't turn it into a song that loops, that goes. That's going to the part of the brain from it, take this test, and then forget it. It's like one good one, consciously interacting with it, what did I do wrong, correct it. Anyway, so there we are. So we were like this, keep it there, boom, and you had a relatively easy time with this drum lesson, which is good. A lot of people, their brain just like falls out their ear or whatever when they realize they have to do that. So riff 2, it goes. There we go. So potentially there could be the sound of the slide backing up, as well as right there. So you are going. And we're going for super anal clean tone. Like if I was like a little more other notes, right? You know, it might be more of like an authentic thing. Point is, we're like really getting into the mechanics this time. Get really good at that. Having done that, the third riff is almost identical. It goes. And the thing to focus on there, 2 things. One is, if you get the I wasn't quite on the string, the answer to everything is thumb down, knuckles out. You can overcorrect to where you're not on the 1st string anymore, come back a hair, and you'll be in perfect position. That's a lot easier than wrestling down from this. And I mean this with my ring finger, but we talked about the concept of you know, moving your middle finger under your index so that you can play with the bass notes. Cool. So yeah, zooming in, we've thoroughly discussed. So now we're going. So that's, you know, just that at the end. You might be tempted to dampen that note with the words. So there's the 2 type of 2-string combinations. There's I have to dampen after the first one, and then like regular. I want them both to ring out. You know, this one I actually have to dampen. I totally don't want to dampen, so I'm going, you know. Cool. So there you go, you could do that. And then we've got only potentially difficult thing there would be the sound of the slide backing up between the and the. So we're talking about going like assigning that time if you feel like you need to. So, and that's the one I did with a pick. It became a different melody altogether. We want cool. Here's that whole section, which I'm going to make a note happens at 4:43. I'm just going to make some little random, this is where something that was useful happened. Cool. So 2, 3, 4. And we're going to start to turn around, so no no bass notes there. Do not put the bass notes in until it's just like a formality. That's the part where you play the song, like, or if you just like blow through that stuff in your practice and it doesn't take any mental discipline, then you are set up to be a very good guitar player, more efficient than most humans, and good on you. But I am troubleshooting you as though you are a mere mortal. Awesome. So we talked about like right hand position changing more in slide because we can't use like our thumb for adjacent strings and get rather than 2 notes or whatever. So we're gonna hop up from the most common position, strings 1, 2, and 3 to 2, 3, and 4. Thumb operating on these 2 strings and go. So for the sake of argument, let's just agree that that's the first note and really work on just going 3 distinct movements, not rolling your hand off, just like loosey-goosey thing that you were doing. Cool, so that goes. Great, so just get all kinds of sick at that. Don't turn it into a song that loops there. Just go 1 good one, pause, 1 good one, pause, 2 to 4 times more than you're naturally inclined, you'll finish it. Then we have to close that string off and go. And that was all 1 pick. So there we had our first, sounds like 2-note slide versus just 1. So. Cool, that's it. There, I'll just keep it. There's our turnaround part. I'll just do the last 2 from the first part. And this is at 6:42. We can go in like, let's go. That's the timing. Here's the whole thing one time. There it is. You have been guitar lesson. So, this is the time to decide about this thumb-hand juxtaposition stuff. You've found a pretty effective way to get your hand into this thumb position and still be on all the strings. The time to really think about is when you have to be on 3 strings playing open bass notes. Like if you were hitting the 4th string open and playing slide notes, it's going to be difficult to have your thumb here without that occurring. So ultimately, you'll probably decide that you want your thumb down a little lower. And yeah, it's just, it's like the same thing when you first tried bar chords. It was like, really? Like this? And yeah, so we're all out in front of the instrument and stuff. But your hand size specifically seems to allow for that more than other people. So maybe not such a big deal you do that. Totally chill. And you have been guitar lesson.